Hey y'all, thanks for stopping by. Today we're taking a look at the Rough Ryder Reserve Kayak. I'm very excited to share this knife with you guys because what Rough Ryder is doing it's pretty exciting in my opinion. Very high levels of fit and finish, very high levels of quality in a very affordable package. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, y'all, we're doing something a little bit different today. This is kind of a cross between a review and a bit of a public service announcement. I really want you guys to know how impressed I am with Rough Ryder Reserve. This is Rough Ryder's new, slightly higher end line. It's still very affordable. And I've got some other knives here on the table in their packaging as well, just so we can do kind of a comparison. Now, comparison videos aren't a thing that I like to do, to be honest with you. I like to just focus on one knife at a time. But I think it's essential that we do this comparison so you can get an idea of just how far your money is going with Rough Ryder Reserve. So let's go ahead and just open this thing up so you guys can see what the packaging is like. We've got this nice box, obviously, but you know, it's a standard old box, nothing crazy. And then we get to the tube here, and I think you guys are gonna see, let's get that nice and straightened up. I think you guys are gonna see just what they're trying to do here, if you take my meaning here. Okay. Let's get the top off here. Sit that right there. Nice little foam cap, get that out of the way. All right, so what do we got in here? Come on. All right. We have a very nice polishing cloth. Quite like that. It's almost like buying a fine bottle of whiskey or something. Wax paper. What does that remind you of? You tell me. And here it is, the Rough Ryder Reserve Kayak. Obviously this is inspired by your traditional canoe pattern. There's a bit of a swell here that you don't normally see on canoes. And let me get these goodies out of the way here. The blades are different as well. We have sort of sheep's foot, kind of reverse tanto blade shapes on both sides. That one I like quite a lot. Comes down to a nice flat edge. Walk and talk is superb. So price on this is 49 bucks, okay? Let's start talking about these other knives here and that'll give you an idea of just why I'm so excited. Let's get our standard Rough Ryder out. So that just comes in a regular old box, kind of like case. I don't recall this having any kind of wax paper, any wrapping like that. This is the Rough Ryder Workman's knife. Work knife, can't remember the name exactly. I think it's work knife. Good little sway back. Steel's 440A, not a great steel. Handles are denim micarta. Walk and talk is good, snappy, weaker pull, but still feels good. And there's a slight bit of side-to-side play, but nothing that you wouldn't expect to see on a traditional every now and then. Definitely better than case, I'll say that. So this is 17 bucks. It's honestly good, you know, good use of your money at 17 bucks. There's a bit of a burr on the back here, but other than that, fit and finish is quite nice. So when we look back at our Rough Ryder Reserve, the advantages that we're seeing with the higher line here is this micarta this is canvas micarta, by the way. They list it as natural tan canvas micarta. I think it's much more of an OD green. Regardless, it looks nice. It's a canvas micarta that's nicely finished. The fit and finish is really good. Transitions are fantastic. When I say transitions, of course, I'm speaking of the transitions between the micarta and your stainless steel brushed bolsters here. Very nice, almost seamless. Pretty much it is seamless. Our pins are also flush, and the fact that that handle has a swell to it, they are flush with the curvature of the handle, so that's very impressive. Back spring in some areas is a little bit, the brass liners are a little bit rough where they meet the micarta. I'm not too upset about that. I have a few cases that have that, so that doesn't bother me too much because this is coming under case. So speaking of case, let's have a look at how case compares to the Rough Ryder Reserve. This, I'll be quick, but I gotta give you all a little story about this one. This is, I'm not a big case fan, but I had a job where I got paid a nice tip, and my son had just been born. And I thought on the way back from this job, I was driving back, and I'm, by the grace of God, fortunate enough to live in the great state of Tennessee, only about 30 minutes or so from Smoky Mountain Knife Works, and they were on my way back. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to get myself a little something with my tip money. And I got this limited edition Barlow in Peacock Appaloosa bone, I believe is what they called it. Or maybe just blue-green Appaloosa. I can't remember. It's Appaloosa. The reason I got it was because that blue-green color, when my kid was born, man, he just had the prettiest blue-green eyes, and it makes me think of him every time I carry it around. So anyway, little story, get that out of the way. Okay, so this case was about 65 bucks. Listen to that. Surely y'all can hear that. There's your case fit and finish right there. Now what I will say is it's American made. So you can buy with confidence. If you're wanting to support an American maker, that's what your money's going to here. But the fit and finish leaves quite a lot to be desired. The blade does not sit centered. Actually, y'all heard the rattle. It was even worse when I got it, and I had to try to kind of squeeze it together a bit up here at the bolsters. And now as well, it never went away. It's a little bit better than it was, but it just never went away. So cases are, this is one of the True Sharp surgical stainless steel, not chrome vanadium. So it's their stainless steel on offer, and it's fine. Takes a decent edge. Nothing super impressive. So there's our case. Now let's get to where I think this comparison really has some merit. It's obvious that Rough Ryder Reserve is a shot towards what GEC and also what Northwoods have been up to. And Northwoods was being produced by GEC. I don't think they are anymore. The company itself, I believe, was owned by Derek Bone of Knives Ship Free. Now, y'all, please correct me if I'm wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure. But ever since GEC stopped producing them, I'm not sure what the future of Northwoods is looking like. Regardless, it's clear that Rough Ryder is attempting to kind of go after that market a little bit. So let me do this one actually. So this is what GEC packaging typically looks like. Put that cap off there. Oh, did you look at that? Some wax paper. All right. Open that up here. There's our GEC Yellow Rose of Texas Coke bottle. What's the actual number? It's 97. Number 97. Pattern number 97. So my point being, Rough Ryder Reserve is definitely going for that sort of old school, how the good old days used to be kind of vibe that GEC has just been excelling at lately. The fit and finish is not, this is a Northfield. This is GEC's kind of highest end in terms of fit and finish. It's nothing up to Northfield. However, I'm going to show you guys a Titty-Ute here. And for those of you unfamiliar with Great Eastern Cutlery, they have two cutleries. They have Northfield and they have Titty-Ute. And Titty-Ute tends to be, I don't have the wrapper for this, but it came with one as well. Titty-Ute tends to be kind of more of a working finish. They do great work though. Nothing to sneeze at for sure. And this has been a very well used knife, so just bear with me on the patina and all the discoloration and stuff. But great walk and talk, great action. It's a really well made knife. And I think that this is really where Rough Ryder Reserve is aspiring to be. I think if you're a fan of GEC, and if you are, you're probably familiar with the fact that as soon as a model goes on the market, they tend to get snapped up really quick. But if you are a fan, I think Rough Ryder Reserve is worth your attention. And I think also if you're getting into, just now if you're getting into traditional knives, and you want that sort of Titty-Ute vibe, not Northfield, the Northfield's gonna be much more higher on the fit and finish. But if you want that GEC Titty-Ute kind of vibe, the Rough Ryder Reserve is gonna do really good for you. Again, that walk and talk for 49 bucks is just excellent. This knife was 81, I believe. And the steel here, so our GECs are using 1095. Rough Ryder Reserve is using D2. Yeah, we're seeing D2 a lot these days. I'm not the biggest D2 fan, but I'll take it in a traditional all day long. Another thing worth mentioning is that this is a bit of a hybrid in terms of the line between traditional and modern traditional. We actually are pivoting on bronze washers here. Interesting thing about that, have a look at this Italian knife.
Buongiorno.
Very obvious patterns here between the canvas micarta as well as the action on this. This one's also on bronze washers. Has a very nice responsive kind of walk and talk to it. So it's interesting. I think that Kevin Pipes, who is the founder of Smoky Mountain Knife Works and is also the founder of Rough Ryder, I think him and Andy Armstrong, who designed this knife, are definitely taking notes of what people are looking for right now. They're looking for that snappy walk and talk, and they are looking for smooth action. Nice finishes on the handle covers. Micarta is so popular right now. They're taking notes. And aside from that, interesting blade shapes. Now canoes, I think, typically are spear point with a pen knife. And here, this reverse tanto kind of sheep's foot kind of shape, it's a little bit more of a modern shape in my opinion. Not saying nobody ever put a sheep's foot blade on a traditional before, but I mean, look at that. That has a modern look to it to me. So it's really interesting. They have 3 models out currently. The 001, which I believe is a easy open razor, has a cutout down here to open up the razor blade with. It's just a single blade. This is 002, the Kayak, and 003, which is a swell center whittler. So it's nice thin handle, then it swells at the center. It's got 3 blades on it. So anyway, just want to urge you guys to check them out. I want to hear what y'all think. Last comparison we're going to do here, of course, is going to be with Northwoods. This is the Northwoods Coolidge Jack. Now the thing, that I would say Rough Ryder needs to do, leather pocket sheets, guys. That would be awesome. If y'all happen to be watching this, which I'm sure you're not. I love the knife. A leather pocket shield would be epic in this to go with this entire package. So we can see some similarities here, particularly in the arrowhead shields. And at first, I was a little bit like, wow, that's kind of a direct shot across the bow at Northwoods. But I did some digging, and arrowhead shields have been in use for quite a long time by quite a lot of makers. In addition, they refer to this as the RRR arrowhead. So you can see here, whichever way you turn it, there is kind of the silhouette of an R on either side. So you got Rough Ryder. Flip it over, and it does the same thing down here, Rough Ryder. I don't know why they call it RRR. If you guys see a third R in there, let me know. Maybe I'm just don't have the proper perspective. So anyway, after doing all that research, there's just so many arrowhead shields. Even Case has their own version of an arrowhead shield that I'm not quite as annoyed by that anymore. I think it's just Andy Armstrong and Kevin Pipes' interpretation of the arrowhead that they wanted to put on their knives. So yeah, it looks good. In terms of the action, again, this is from the GEC era of Northwoods. So it has that same snappy and smooth action that GEC is so lauded for. So what I want to do now is just kind of put these in order of preferences on how I like them in terms of the fit and finish and just the overall quality. All right, so if I'm ordering these in preference of overall quality as well as fit and finish, the GEC from Northfield, that's taken the #1 spot. The GEC produced Northwoods is taking the #2 spot. Titty Ute gets the #3, and Rough Ryder Reserve here at #4. And that is not a bad position to be in among a company like this. The reason that this is down here is, and this is something I've been kind of reticent to bring up, but this is produced in China. Now the reason I'm slow to bring that up is just because I don't want you to associate that with the idea of bad quality, because the level is very high here for what you're paying. This is probably the best traditional knife that you could spend 49 bucks on. I sincerely believe that. You could get, there's some cases you could get, for 40 bucks that'll be American made. But again, just, be wary because you're gonna get that rattle. You're gonna get maybe a couple of burrs. I have some gaps in the back spring here. If I hold it up to the light, I can see straight through it. So just things you need to be aware of. It's nice to support a historic American maker, but just want to make sure, you know, if you're going for just full-on quality, I really think you should consider this. And also standard Rough Ryder, but if you don't mind shelling out a little bit more, this is gonna do the job for you. So the last thing I want to do here is just go over the materials. We have stainless steel brush bolsters here, brass liners, nice and smooth. There's a little bit of rough areas on the back spring, but they're few and far between. It really does not bother me that much. Not as rough as my case, which costs more. Micarta handle covers on either side. It's not super grippy or textured, but I think it looks really nice. Our blades are made out of D2 tool steel. And if you'll notice, the blades center up really nicely in their channels. Another thing I want to point out, absolutely no blade play, none at all. I mean, this thing is rock solid. Check the other one real quick. Rock solid. You'll notice as well we have what Rough Ryder calls match strike pulls. I could take them or leave them. Actually, to be honest with you, I kind of like them. Just a little bit more interesting than a regular old nail nick. I don't think it looks bad at all. The pull, it's a hard pull. Not the hardest knife I've ever opened up, but it's a hard pull. Again, that's what's popular right now. People seem to be enjoying that, and Kevin Pipes and Annie Armstrong are paying attention, so it shows. All right, y'all. Well, thank you guys for joining me. I hope you check out Rough Ryder Reserve. If you already have some, let me know your thoughts, especially if you have one of the other two that are available right now. Runs number 4, 5, and 6 are on the way, so keep an eye out for those. I'm not sure what they have coming, but I am certainly excited to find out. All right, catch you guys later.